Howdy, in this video I'm going to show y'all a new tool we have available to us in the district called VoiceThread. VoiceThread is a new presentation platform that provides students the power to record audio or video responses with screen annotation in time with this presentation. Essentially, you load a VoiceThread with external videos, PowerPoint slides, or images, and then you record your presentation to the students using those media tools. It's very much like a screencast or a Khan Academy video. Once you post the video, the students will be free to watch your presentation and make their own comments and annotations as a new layer over the video. Those student responses will then be listed as subtopics under the original presentation. So you can turn on moderation features that will keep students from seeing each other's posts until you want to allow that, which opens up assessment possibilities. So I think the easiest way to show y'all is to build one together. So I have open here a sandbox course in Canvas, and we are going to add a VoiceThread assignment. So I'm going to click on Assignments. Once it loads up here, I'm going to add an assignment. And we can name it. I'm going to name it VoiceThread Example. You can give your instructions here. Watch the presentation and then make comments. Okay, so something generic. You could, in your presentation, you could ask the students questions like you would in a lecture setting in a classroom, and then the students could then respond there. You could put instructions associated with that here. You can set up points for this particular assignment. I'll just say 10, whatever, doesn't matter. And then down here, what you want to do is under submission type, we're going to pick external tool. And once we've picked external tool, we can click on find. And then we'll scroll down to the bottom here and select VoiceThread. Hit select. And now it's going to be a VoiceThread. You can assign it to a group if you have groups in your course and due dates and all that kind of stuff. We don't have any of that stuff set up in my sandbox course, so I'm going to skip it. I'm going to hit save. Okay, you can see here that we have the assignment built now, but we don't have anything in the VoiceThread. So editing the VoiceThread inside of Canvas is a little bit of a pain. The best way to do it, in my opinion, is to click this Open a New Tab. And what that does is it takes you to the VoiceThread website. It gives the browser this big version of it, which is really, really nice. So we're going to create a new one. We're going to create a new VoiceThread. And then we have to add media. So we can click here. I'm going to select from my computer. And I put some on the desktop that I wanted to use. So we're going to click all three of these. I held down Shift and selected across. Open. And now it's going to load these in here. So you see it's processing here in the background. The images it processed really quickly. There's a video back behind this that processed a little slower. And then we have to name this thread. So I'm going to name it Berlin Airlift. And if this was for use in class, I would put a description and maybe some tags. Playback options, there's a lot of different things you can add in here. So if you wanted this to be a ongoing topic where your students were watching an introduction that you provided on the Berlin Airlift and then go research their own information on the Berlin Airlift and then bring it back into this conversation and add the information that they have found, then this is what you want, is to allow commenters to add slides to this VoiceThread so they can add their own materials. If you wanted this to be more of an information dump, kind of a lecture kind of thing where the students would have some really good feedback to it, you can turn this off, and that means they're not going to add anything to the presentation material-wise, but they will still be able to make voice comments and give you verbal feedback on what's being used in the presentation. So I'm going to leave it on, and you can go through and mess with this however you want and get this set up the way you see fit. So we're going to go ahead and save it, and now we have this Berlin Airlift, and we've got our materials that are going to be in the presentation. So what we can do is actually move these around. If we wanted to start with the video, maybe we want to put the video between these political cartoons. And then we can go in and we can actually edit these different slides and mess around with that. I'm not going to do it now, but you can. Okay, so we're going to share and return to course. Submit and share with sample. Okay, so now that we have this set up, it will eventually show up in here, and we're going to record some narration over top of these slides. So I'm going to go ahead and hit play, and it opens up to this very first slide. So now we're in the presentation itself. Let's say that I don't want, right now, as the students would pull it up and see it, there's nothing but the slide. But if I needed to explain the slide to the students, I would want to record comments. So I'm going to hit play, and I'm going to do just an audio comment over top of this. It does a countdown, and now it is recording what I'm saying. We're kind of in inception mode, so it's recording me for this.
Down with it. Yes, get on with it.
So anyway, you can research it some more, but that's recorded, and that gives some feedback for the students. It is uploading, and now it is and we'll hit save. And now there is video here and not just the slide. Okay, just gonna upload that. Let's go back to the main slides, and you can see the different things. This right here, this untitled, looks a little unprofessional. That's why you can go in and change the names of these slides. So you can see there's this recording here, and now it is recording what I'm saying. We're kind of, and it's not playing the audio out loud. Inception mode, so it's recording. Oh, I've got it on silent. No big deal. So we can go to the next one, and now we've got the video. So we can watch the video, and the students will go through the same process. There's actually no difference between what you do as a teacher as far as your editing abilities on here and what the students can do on here. What it'll do is it'll, like that first one, it had that JF on there for my initials. For students, it'll have another bubble underneath it with their initials, and still at the base, at the top, will be this original slide version, and then it'll show the other comments down below it. Okay, so we go ahead and record audio over top of this, so I can drop this on the, say I just watched that and I thought, oh, that's interesting, I can talk about that. Drop it down, countdown. You can skip the countdown if it's annoying. And now I can give some introduction. Look, at this point here, I'm about to hit play. There's these guys loading the planes, and they must be strong, so let's watch this. Look at how strong this guy is. He's picking this up over the back of his head. There we go. Okay, so we're done with that. And so I can hit stop recording. And now it's going to upload down if it's annoying. And there will be that tag on the video with my name that there's a comment. Now look down here on the video. It made a little blue dot. That little blue dot says that there has been a recording here at that spot, and it is tied directly to me. So when I clicked on it, it jumped directly to my video comment. So if your students were coming in and making comments, you're going to see a bunch of little blue dots pop up wherever they are making their comments, and then it'll have the videos listed off to the side here. So I don't have moderation turned on, so it instantly popped up here. If I turned on moderation, then as the owner of it, I would see a very subdued box with a student's video on here. So I could go back and review it. If it's correct, then and I want the other students to be able to see what it is, then I can go ahead and allow it to be visible to the other students. Or if it's incorrect, you can keep it hidden. If it's correct but you don't want the kids to see it yet, you can still also keep it hidden. So this is basically how this works. And we can go over here to the next slide, and I can record that. It's simple, it's genius, I love it. It's a really cool way to interact with your students. It works out great for group work or asynchronous instruction, anything you need to do. There is an application where you can fit this in. So if you have questions, please do not hesitate to contact myself or anyone in the instructional technology team, and we will be glad to come out and help you. Thanks.